Good afternoon, everyone. Our program is about to begin, so please take your seats. Please note that emergency exits are located throughout the building. In the event of an emergency or fire alarm, please proceed quickly and calmly out the nearest emergency exit. Out of courtesy to our speakers and our colleagues, we also ask that you silence your cell phones. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Our program is about to begin, so please take your seats. Thank you. Welcome to UMBC's 2022 Fall Opening Meeting. Please join me in welcoming our speakers and the UMBC cheerleaders and dance team.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Actually, it's still the morning, isn't it? Let's thank our UMBC dance and cheerleading team once again. Yeah, this is really great because it's the first time I've ever felt that I'm like an NFL player coming onto the field, but I'm sure that wasn't the intent of doing that. Again, good morning, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us here today. I'm Philip Rouse, and I have the great honour and privilege of serving as UMBC's Provost, and I really want to thank you all for joining us today at a time when we come together towards the beginning of a new semester as a community to reconnect, recharge, celebrate, and reflect. And so I want to welcome all of you, those of you that are able to be here in person, but also our many colleagues who are participating online today. I'll give them a quick wave. And on behalf of all of you and the entire UMBC community, I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome our new president, Dr. Valerie Shirs-Aspey, who you'll hear from later. I'd like to open our event by sharing UMBC's land acknowledgement. UMBC was established upon the land of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples. Over time, citizens of many more indigenous nations have come to reside in this region. We humbly offer our respects to all past, present, and future indigenous people connected to this place. Thank you. Today, my colleagues and I are excited to share with you new developments and the remarkable accomplishments of our community, and also to introduce you to our new colleagues who have joined our community recently. But I also hope that you're going to use this opportunity to engage with each other, comment in the chat, play along with trivia, and meet a new person at lunch. I really want to thank the Department of Human Resources and our shared governance leaders here in the front row for all they've done in hosting this event and the pre-event networking session. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues, the vice presidents and deans, who will be serving as hosts for our community lunch today. If you can join us for lunch, please plan to join one of them at one of the tables and to learn more about our work together in each college and division. So before we dive into our program today, I hope you'll forgive me for taking just a few moments to offer a few reflections about this particularly exciting time for our community. But before that, I just want to share with you a feeling right now that I'm having, is how wonderful it is to see all of you in person. It seems such a long time. And of course, I don't need to remind you that UMBC, like the rest of the world, has been through a very challenging time. Many of those challenges continue today. But through your fortitude, your commitment to our shared values, I believe that our community has grown stronger and has, even during that challenging time, accomplished many incredible things. We've held true to the values that make us UMBC, our commitment to inclusive excellence, high-quality teaching and learning, supporting our students, and research and creative achievement. Our recognition this year as a Research One university is a perfect example of this values-driven work, as is our recognition previously as a Carnegie Community Engaged campus. My belief is that we didn't accomplish these things in isolation, but we accomplished them because we understand that inclusion, excellence, support of our students and a strong community will advance our success in all aspects of our mission. These accomplishments and many others we have achieved recently has its roots in the determination and innovation of every member of our community, faculty, staff, and students. And so I'm so impressed by your commitment and your caring spirit and your generosity. And I'm especially thankful for your kindness and support of me personally during this time. Today, we are excited to focus on what's new on campus. And so next in our program, I'm pleased to share with you a brief video prepared by our colleagues in facilities management about updates to our physical campus. I think those of you that have been around campus this summer, most of you, I know, have seen what's going on, have probably been somewhat delayed and detoured by some of these activities, but we're all getting ready for the new selection. These are exciting developments, so let's see the video, and thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome UMBC Retrievers. It's great to see you here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Kathy Detloff, Vice President for Administration and Finance. I am so happy to be here today and help kick off the new academic year. It's like you could just feel the excitement in the air. Just think, a week from today, the lines at Chick-fil-A and Starbucks will be right out the door. Doesn't the campus look great with everything going on? Thank you for showing your appreciation to our incredible team and facilities management for keeping this campus running and looking gorgeous. We are doing such great work here on campus, and we continue to do more and more of it. In order to support that work, whether it be in academic programs, student support, research and creative achievement, or the expansion and improvement of our facilities, we need good people. Over the past year, we have hired 289 new community members. Get this, 30 of them have previous UMBC experience and were just so anxious to come back to campus. They love this place. All of these hires are spread across all of our colleges and divisions, with the largest area of growth happening in our research teams. Additionally, recognition of the hard work of our faculty and staff and their ever-changing position responsibilities have led to 286 internal changes, so that's things like promotions, reclass, and title changes. All of this is truly remarkable. Just think about it. Back in 2020, just 2 years ago, we were faced with significant budget challenges which required us to really come together as a community. We had to cut vacant positions, put a halt on any position changes, and we froze all but the most critical hires. But we have emerged stronger than ever. We've stayed focused on our mission to serve our students while putting people first. Your commitment to this campus and new funding from the state of Maryland allowed us to emerge from this challenging time fiscally sound and positioned to grow. So thank you for all your hard work, both then and now. While we are unable to recognize every one of these new community members individually, we do want to take a moment and welcome and celebrate them together as a community. So if you started at UMBC within the past year and are here in person, I ask you to please stand. If you are joining us virtually, I ask that you post your name and department in the chat. So I'm going to challenge everyone here today to reach out to one of these new people and introduce yourselves and start to get to know them. Finally, I have more exciting news. I want to share a little bit about a new member of the Administration and Finance leadership team who we are eager to welcome. Dr. Lynn Adams will be joining us as our Associate Vice President and Chief Human Resources Officer in October. We love to clap at UMBC. She comes to us from Prince George's Community College, where she serves as Vice President for Equity, Culture, and Talent, Chief Human Resources Officer, Affirmative Action Officer, and Deputy Title IX Coordinator. She brings with her a wealth of experience in human resources, a strong background in leadership and strategic development, and a shared commitment to equity and inclusion. She impressed me, members of the search committee, and others who were involved in the search with her people-centered approach to leadership and development. She was unable to join us today. She is actually in flight as we speak, but she wanted me to share her greetings and tell you how excited she is to meet all of you and to join the UMBC community. So I ask that you give her a round of applause to show her you're welcome. Thank you. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome our next set of speakers. They are the real reason we are here doing what we do. We're excited to hear from some of our incoming students about why they chose UMBC. Additionally, we've asked 2 more new community members, a faculty member and a staff member, to speak to us today as a new part of this tradition. So please join me in welcoming our first student, an incoming first-year student from Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, Veronica Goonan.
morning. My name is Veronica Goonan, and I'm an incoming first year at UMBC's Honors College. I am originally from Mechanicsburg, which is a suburb of Harrisburg in Pennsylvania. My time at UMBC will be spent studying political science and cultural anthropology to gain a basis for pursuing my Juris Doctorate and hopefully running for political office one day. My political and legal aspirations started in high school, where I was president of Cumberland Valley High School's mock trial team and led my team to place third in our state tournament this past year. That competition propelled me into pursuing law, and it was only fitting that my UMBC journey started there. Now, as many of you know, UMBC has a great mock trial team as they beat Yale in 2020, becoming the American Mock Trial National Champions. And ranking #1 nationwide this past year. The summer before my senior year, I reached out to the executive board of this team and the coach, Mr. Ben Garmo, to gather information and really start my search for a college that would not only inspire my studies, but also help me continue competing in the program that I loved. I had an incredible opportunity then in the fall to tour campus with the team during my senior year to get a better feel for the college. And that's really when I began to know that my place was here. I could feel the innovation and the excellence that UMBC boasts. Now, from the moment I stepped on campus, I felt at home. And as I began to meet my professors, such as the incredible Honors College team, Dr. Stacy, Dr. Kelber-Kay, and Dr. Oakes at Scholar Days, and then later on, when I attended the honors orientation and met some of my fellow classmates in the first year class, I once again felt the community and the commitment to students that UMBC is so proud of. Faculty and staff, I am grateful to be able to stand up here and tell you that the hard work and research that you're doing here not only attracts students from across the country, but it also inspires us to pursue similar goals. It inspires me to do great things, which is precisely why I'm up here and I chose UMBC. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce and turn over the next speaker, Luther Daigle, an incoming transfer student from Carroll County Community College. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Luther Daigle, and I'm proud to be joining your amazing UMBC family this upcoming semester to complete my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. I'm even more honored that my story caught someone's attention enough to ask me to speak in front of you all here today. Back in 2020, I decided to quit my job in the mortgage industry to pursue an old dream that I never followed through with due to failing out of the mechanical engineering program at Virginia Tech. Engineering and design have always been two passions of mine, but I just wasn't mature enough to handle living on my own on top of staying on track and on top of the studies that I was doing over there. I did eventually go on to pursue a bachelor's degree in business management, but it took me an extra 8 years to realize the mistake I made in giving up on that original passion of mine that first time around. It also was difficult to build up the courage to drop literally everything to take about 8 steps back in order to restart a brand new bachelor's degree within the engineering field. But since the day that I quit my job, I have not looked back once. I absolutely love the choices that I've made. I love the classes that I'm now taking, and honestly, I love the new skills that I'm learning here. I initially decided to attend UMBC mostly due to recommendations from a few close friends of mine. Their praises of this campus, their professors, and the research opportunities sounded almost too good to be true. But it wasn't until I toured the campus and I felt just this overwhelming sense of belonging that I knew that I wanted to continue my academic journey here at UMBC. Everyone that I've met thus far on campus has carried this almost intoxicating gusto with them. There's intense passion. They speak about their experiences and studies in a way that makes me want to bring my own vigor to both this campus as well as to the mechanical engineering program. It's my hope that before graduating, I can meet, befriend, and connect with students, faculty, and professors here that share similar ideals and passions that I do. I love the field of robotics, AI, as well as the field of quantum computing. And I'm just so excited to be starting this semester here, coming up here on Wednesday, and just taking that next step towards that better future here with UMBC. Thank you for welcoming me. For our next speaker, please welcome Alana Gonzalez, a transfer student joining us from Montgomery College.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alana Gonzalez, and I am a transfer student here at UMBC. I've transferred from Montgomery College studying psychology and biological sciences. I'm going to be the first generation in my family to graduate with an undergrad, and I'm excited to be here. Prior to Montgomery College, I attended Fortis College to obtain a medical assistant certification. While finishing my certification as a registered medical assistant, I have decided to pursue the medical field to become a doctor. Thank you. I have yet to decide what field I would like to pursue, but after attending UMBC, I intend to continue my education with medical school. This upcoming academic school year, I am eager to participate in clinical work with one of the nation's highest ranked schools. UMBC being ranked as R1 further gateways quality education and adequate resources. I'm excited to be able to participate in tons of research opportunities where I will gain not only knowledge, but also experience from amazing professors. I believe building professional relationships are very important. I was nervous about meeting new professors and having a bigger class setting. I was also worried that I would have a hard time connecting with professors. However, I was reassured by many friends who are now my classmates that a lot of the professors are easily accessible and have no issues providing feedback or even becoming a lifelong mentor to their students. I am confident that I will have the support, advice, and resources I need to effectively guide me towards my professional goals. These are one of the many qualities of a school that were important to me in order to decide where I wanted to go after Montgomery College. I appreciate all the hard work that the faculty and staff members provide for all the students here for me to excel. I am excited to be able to heighten my existing skills and gain more researching opportunities. I am looking forward to continuing my passion in serving the community and being able to engage with the UMBC campus life. Thank you. And for our last speaker, please welcome Jock Abraham Thon. He's an incoming master's student who recently arrived in the United States from his home country in South Sudan.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a great pleasure to speak to you today. My name is Jock Abraham Thon. I'm from South Sudan, and it's my first one-week anniversary in the US. For me, being part of the first generation of South Sudan, the world's youngest country that got our independence in 2011, it's a big responsibility. What will I tell my children when they ask me years from now about how we worked to build this new nation against such challenges? We sometimes doubt our abilities to solve problems, but we cannot forget that we have the power to solve the problem we face. Even with these big challenges of building a just, democratic, and prosperous country, I chose UMBC after meeting many lovely people and great professors. I have hope that UMBC will be a ladder to elevate my dreams, to build my country, and restore the dignity of my people who have come through such violent tragedy and continue to suffer in refugee camps and internally displaced persons camps today. I want my country to be a place where a South Sudanese can also have a dream and a peace of mind to contribute their voices and actions towards solving the most pressing issues of our world today. My life journey leading me to UMBC has proven to me that great majority of people in our world today are good and caring. Our challenge is to educate and outcompete or transform the minority of people who chose violence in fear or ignorance or desperation, or who are corrupted by power. We must rally behind our shared humanity in a spirit of love that heals our division and inequalities. UMBC has welcomed me in this spirit, and I know I will soon meet many students, faculty, and staff who, like me, are coming together to create positive change in the world, in what I call a team of global transformers. My own vision has been to build a school back home in a new place with little infrastructure and to educate fellow citizens, a school that educates our youth to participate in building our country as a place that embraces our humanity and is centered in the practice of love. This is the source of true and lasting peace. The world needs this kind of education more than ever before. It is the best way we can break the cycle of violence, corruption, and inequality. It has been through love that I turn my own bitter memories of being a refugee child in our long civil war, my childhood memories of so much violent conflict and loss in my life. I have turned them into a positive energy for future change. After finishing my early education in a refugee camp and returning and stepping to my country, I established Promised Land Secondary School, and we began classes under trees. And this is a mission to change minds from bullets to book. Today, we have nearly 1,500 students learning in our school. We have the highest national exam scores in the country, and we have already graduated 954 conflict-affected students, with 743 who have joined universities around the world, including Princeton and Anderson universities in the USA and University of British Columbia in Canada. Our school rate Our school rate 75% college-going students is above elsewhere in South Sudan, and I think it's even above the percentage in the US. Together we are doing it. It is through love and education that I found my real-life purpose. In our school, these values are helping our students fight division and choose equality that is harmless, that is less harmful and sustainable. It is also helping our professors and lecturers to find a reason to teach our young people with honesty and commitment. Imagine if we graduate 1,000 more students that embrace this mission of love and humanity in their lives and communities and career. This is the way, little by little, we can build our nation, South Sudan, and I think it can also work in the rest of the world. At UMBC, I'll be earning my master's degree in entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership, gaining the knowledge and skills I need to sustain my work and engage and enlarge my vision for peace and change. I'll be working as a graduate assistant to support new opportunities for UMBC to become a globally engaged campus. I am thankful for the support from Shaver Center, Division of Professional Studies, and Center for Global Engagement to have this fellowship. I will be sharing my own stories and lessons I have learned with the students at UMBC, and as we are recruiting other UMBC students, staff, and faculty to share their stories of working for positive social change around the world. And I will need your help. We have an incredible, diverse, and creative campus community. I was shocked to learn that this fall, UMBC will be home to more than 2,000 international students from over 100 countries. And I'll be the first from my country, South Sudan. And I think the tallest person. We have so much opportunity to learn from this global village. Maybe we should think of it as our responsibility as global citizens to learn from each other during our time at UMBC. So please, let me know if you have a story or idea to share. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so excited to get it started. Thank you. For our next speaker, we'll be hearing from a new staff member and a new faculty member about why they chose UMBC. Please welcome Ashley Broms, the University Innovation Alliance Fellow.
I mean, our students are awesome, aren't they? Can we give them another round of applause? Y'all are awesome. I don't know how to speak after the next world leader over here, but I will do my best. So hello, everyone. It is an honor to be able to speak here today, and I am so thankful for this opportunity. My name is Ashley Luster Brooms, and I am the project coordinator in the Division of Undergraduate Academic Affairs and University Innovation Alliance for UMBC. So the University Innovation Alliance is the leading national coalition of public research universities. The UIA was founded in 2014 with a commitment to increasing the number and diversity of college graduates in the United States. The UIA is focused on helping institutions eliminate disparities in the educational outcomes of first-generation students, low-income students, and students of color. A few members of the UIA include Arizona State University, Purdue University, University of Central Florida, and Georgia State University. Last year, it was announced that UMBC had joined the UIA given our commitment to student success and diversity. When I learned about the fellow role, I became interested in the opportunity to work with university leadership and institutions across the country to boost student success initiatives. For UMBC, I was already aware of the grit and greatness of the campus based on my previous roles. I advised students in the College of Engineering and Information Technology. I had taught students in our transfer student seminars with academic engagement and transition programs, and provided career coaching to STEM students in our awesome Career Center. These departments gave me the opportunity to work directly with students, faculty, and staff, and I earned to come back in a role that would have a large impact on student success. In my role so far, I've done a great amount of time looking at data and process mapping our current models to see how we can implement UIA innovations on our campus. It has been wonderful to engage with the UIA central team, board members, liaisons, and other fellows across the country. I am so grateful to be working in this role with our UIA liaisons, Dr. Yvette Mosey-Ross, and my supervisor, Dr. Catherine Cole, and now our new president, Dr. Valerie Shears-Ashby. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak today. I am so grateful to be back at UMBC. This has felt like home for me, and I'm so honored to be back in a role that can have an impact on student success and represent UMBC at UIA convenings, retreats, and meetings. Thank you so much. Our next speaker will be our Associate Professor of Information Systems, Patty Ordonez.
Okay, so I have picked UMBC 3 different times. So they asked me to say why UMBC, and so I really have to separate it into the 3 whys, right? So when I first came back, I was a non-traditional student, much like you, who had failed at one of these top-ranking universities, and I was coming back 15 years later, a little bit older than you, to pursue this passion of mine that I had gained through my students. I had been a high school teacher, then I had been working in tech because I thought tech was the thing, and I was so discouraged with what I saw in tech, I was like, I just got to go back and educate, right? I've got to do it better. And I picked it then because of the flexible schedule. You can come at night, and they actually are very welcoming of non-traditional students. And even the other students around me were welcoming, like they'd invite me to their study sessions. And so diversity was really important here. I also had the greatest reputation in the tech industry for getting a degree. And so I came back. I encourage all of you that in that position always to see the assets in others. Having people that are technical and older in your classes is actually good. They can get you jobs. They have connections, right? So include them, right? Yes. Number 2, then I picked UMBC for my graduate school. And in that case, honestly, it was the only one that accepted me. So, but I'm gonna tell you why I stayed and why I kept with it, because after 2 years, remarkably, I got this national science fellowship for graduate student research, which is very prestigious. But I tell you, that's all UMBC. That is all UMBC, because when I stepped on this campus, I did not know what research was. I did not know what fellowships were. And so that is really a sign of, I get emotional about this, sorry. But it's really a sign about how much they care and how good the research is here and how excellent the teaching is here and how wonderful the mentoring is. So you all are very blessed to be here. The other thing is that this whole concept of inclusive excellence, it's not just words. The faculty buy into it, the staff. Let me just talk about the wonderful staff. You really have to take advantage of the staff that are here and the opportunities that are here. They really care. And so when I explain to people why I stayed at UMBC, because after you get that NSF GRFP, people want you, right? And it would have been easy to switch to one of the more prestigious ones that had rejected me before, but I was like, no. Because I explain this to people. I went to a prestigious university where the support network was to catch you if you fail. At UMBC, the support network is to push you up as far as you can go. And that's a big difference in what you have. So you picked the right school. Now, why do I return as faculty? I taught for 10 years at a Hispanic serving institution. I became aware of, the privilege that we have attending a school in Maryland, attending a school like UMBC, in my frustration with what I was not able to do as faculty, or how hard it was to be faculty, how the staff didn't really understand in research. The staff didn't really have the training to do the research. We have that here at UMBC. So I really came back because, there's excellence now also, more so now than ever before, but there has been a huge push for excellence in teaching, right? They care about the students, it's student-centered. There's continues to be excellent in research, and in the time that I have been gone, which has been 10 years, it's gone from R2 to R1, but it's now A2 to I1. I think there's a whole change, but in other words, it's in the top ranks of research, in terms of what it's getting in terms of money. And on top of that, there's a whole set of interdisciplinary buildings and arts buildings. It's not just about science. When I was here, there was a big focus about science, and now it's much more than that. So there's a focus on interdisciplinary research. There's a focus on on solving challenges, to speak to your point, challenging and relevant problems that impact the community. So I think the biggest thing that I realized that UMBC sees that it has privilege, and which privilege there comes responsibility. Responsibility to the world, responsibility to the community. And so this is why I pick UMBC now. I tell you all to take advantage of the resources that are here and even of the excellent staff. They love when you take advantage of them. They want to help you. Well, that doesn't sound right, does it? But you know what I mean. Like, go to them. They want to help you. It's really fantastic. Graduate students Promise program, get involved. Really get involved with that Promise program. All right, so now I have this incredible privilege to introduce one new community member to you that I know you're excited to hear from. She started as president of UMBC on August 1st, 2022. She is UMBC's 6th chief executive and the first woman to serve in this role. And may I also say that for me as a Latina, the fact that she's a woman of color just makes this extra special. She spent her first 4 weeks at UMBC getting to know our faculty, staff, and students, and our campus. I'm sure that you, like me, are excited to get to know her a little bit better today. Please join me in welcoming President Valerie Shears Ashby.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, thank you all so much, and thank you for that really special introduction. I so appreciate that. And first, let me just say a word about these amazing students. Right, there's really nothing for me to say. I thought, well, I could just say, you know, welcome back, and I could go home, because you all have really laid out the reason why UMBC is so special. So it is just a pleasure to be able to serve as your president, and I'm just so proud of you already. So I'm delighted to be here. And welcome also, I guess you're welcoming me, you've been here longer than I have. Both of you, this is my first time at UMBC. Most of you, this has been your 4th time at UMBC. So happy to see you, and to all who are gathered here, thank you. And for those who are joining us, I see you. I'm looking down here on the screen so I can see your faces. But for those of you who are joining us online, so good to see you. I'm waving at you. Can you guys see me? Okay, there you go. Okay. All righty. So thank you again. It has been an incredible time starting at UMBC. I have received such a warm and enthusiastic reception. Although only 25 days old here, I'm 25, y'all. I wanted to be 25 a long time, except with the knowledge of what I have at 56. Let's just be clear. Although only 25 days old here, I would also like to add my welcome to all of you who are new staff, faculty, and students. What a privilege it is for me to begin my UMBC journey right alongside you. As we're getting to know each other, I thought I'd just take a moment, and my apologies if you've heard me say this before, but I'd take a moment and tell you a little bit more about myself. Some of you I've met and others I have not. I am from North Carolina, but I am delighted to have made this transition to Maryland. As I always say, I always tell you about my family. I had wonderful parents, both of whom were teachers. I've mentioned before that my father was a minister and a math and science teacher, and my mother was an English teacher. And so teaching is something, I heard you talk about it, that is, all of you have talked about it, it is deeply rooted in me. I've also been blessed with mentors, which is something that I think is just a hallmark of UMBC. The mentors that I've had remain instrumental in my life and have walked with me from undergrad through graduate school up until this very moment. They were people who saw in me things that I could not see in myself. And you all know when you are given that opportunity to see in someone what they cannot see in themselves, right? It's a beautiful thing. And so they have been committed to me, and I am so grateful for their wisdom, for their time, and for the resources that they have provided to me in my life, and for that I will be forever grateful. I learned some things from those wonderful examples, that first, taking the time to encourage, empower, and promote others can change lives. That true excellence can never be achieved without diversity. That leadership sometimes requires the courage to make some hard decisions, and that treating people with decency and kindness will never be outdated or obsolete. And so I care deeply about where I work. The place, the vision, the mission, the values matter to me. And that is why it is such an honor to be here with you in this community with the values that we have at UMBC. I'm so proud to be here also because of everything that you've already achieved. Some of those achievements you have heard, but I'll just recount a few. The list is very long and it grows daily. I receive emails all the time, or I'll walk across campus and I'll hear about a new achievement. It's a wonderful thing. The achievements include our Research One status, which, by the way, I love how people are using that. They'll say, I need a new classroom, I need a new research lab. You know we're Research One now, right? They'll say, I need a new art studio. You know we're Research One now. I love that. The achievements also include $114 million in new research awards in fiscal year 22. That exceeds last year's numbers by approximately $31 million. Right? Right, exactly. The other thing that I am just so proud of is what you've heard from our students and faculty and staff who've already spoken, and it's that we have this track record of national leadership in innovation and in undergraduate teaching. And we joyfully also welcome to our campus in this community over 2,100 undergraduate students, first-year students, I should say, and over 3,000 graduate students. And Kathy already mentioned our new 289 new faculty and staff members that we're adding to this community. And so that list goes on and on across the disciplines and the schools. What I know, though, is that our people are what make these achievements possible. As I have met some of you in my first moments and days and weeks, I am clear that you are indeed the reason for our success. It has been a pleasure being out and about on campus. I've met some of our graduate students. If there are graduate students sitting in here, just stand up for me. Ah, fantastic. I've met some of those graduate students. I'll go downstairs in the cafe and they'll tell me about their thesis, about their dissertation, about their research, and it has been a pleasure to meet you. I also have met a number of our undergraduates, but it started on day one with a fantastic tour that I was given by one of our undergraduate students who was so proud of this campus and so deeply steeped in UMBC knowledge and spirit. That same day, I walked through Starbucks and saw some more undergraduates doing what our undergraduates do, which is study. I so love that. And I walked to the table and discovered that each one of them was from a different country. And I thought, now that's an education. And I am encouraged by our staff who are so critical to everything that we do. If you are staff sitting in here, will you please stand? I have met some of you across the campus in dining services, in housekeeping, in facilities, in our police department. I've been around y'all. In grant support, in development, in HR and finance, in IT, and I've even met some of you out in the departments who are providing your expertise and support to our faculty and students. And I am also meeting our stellar faculty. If you are faculty in the room, would you please stand? I chatted with several of you, faculty, students, and staff, in the welcome reception line, which, I was standing there and I kept watching and I thought, oh, wow. If you weren't there, it felt like hundreds of people in that line, but it was a pleasure to actually meet some of you at that welcome reception. And I've even had a chance to meet my own department chair. Yes, I am also a faculty member. In my first few weeks, I thought I needed to go over and meet my own department chair, and what a pleasure that was. And then finally, I am grateful to those of you who lead and serve in shared governance. I have had the privilege of meeting with the leaders of our affinity groups, as well as our staff and faculty committees. If you're in the room and you participate in any of those governing bodies of shared governance and leadership or committees, would you please stand? You are the university. I'll say it again. You are the university. I feel your commitment to the success of our students and to our university as a whole. And so as we go forward together, it will be our collective job to make UMBC even more remarkable. So in all the celebration of the new semester, let me pause to acknowledge that we are in a transition, and it is one that is of significance. A singular change is not easy, but we have had multiple changes, and we have multiple changes happening simultaneously. One president to another. From one president who served for 30 years to another, right? From pandemic operations to a post-crisis campus that is learning to live in an endemic state, to a world wrestling with societal injustices, to all of the new ways that we are working individually and collectively. That's a lot of change. Let me assure you that through all that we will encounter, I am committed to listening to you, to learning from you, and to being thought partners with you about our future. Finally, as we begin this journey and new semester together, which I don't know about you, but I am just so excited about this. I'm really excited about this. By the way, before I end, I thought it was funny when Kathy said I think you said we are people who applaud. So I just want you to know our very first leadership team meeting, we got through it and one of my deans said, that's the first meeting we've had where we haven't applauded. And you all know what that means, right? So as we begin this journey together in this semester, what I'm going to do is encourage all of us to reflect upon the UMBC vision that over a period of what I've heard more than a year, you collectively created, which is phenomenal. I am inspired by it, deeply inspired by it, and have been inspired by it ever since I read it the very first time. It was actually the first time when I realized, you know what, this might be my place. When I read your vision, here's what it says. We are redefining excellence in higher education through an inclusive culture. There are so many measures of excellence in higher education, and yet here, we are bold enough to say that we not only refuse to call ourselves excellent unless we are doing it through an inclusive culture, but what we are saying is that we are actually stating that true excellence is impossible without it. That's a bold start to a vision. And then it goes on to say that this inclusive culture will connect innovative teaching and learning across the disciplines, and civic research across the disciplines, and civic engagement. I'll read it again. That this inclusive culture, I'm putting in this inclusive culture, connects innovative teaching and learning, research across the disciplines, and civic engagement. What that means to me is that we aspire to have an inclusive culture that is evident to our students when they walk into our classrooms, our labs, our theaters, our concert halls, our athletic facilities. And we are humble enough, which I heard that humility this morning, humble enough to consider that we may have to do things differently to get there. This is also, in this statement, there is an unwavering acknowledgement that if research is not inclusive, then we are leaving out people with creative ideas and solutions, and we are not operating at our best. And then it says, we call out at that last bit, we call out civic engagement. That to me is a clear statement that we are serious about our responsibility to promoting the quality of life in our surrounding communities, and that our success is inextricably tied to their success. And then I love how we finish. I say we, you see that, like I worked on it for a year with you. I love how we finish with this "we will" statement that follows. It says, we will advance knowledge, economic prosperity, and social justice. We are unique in higher education. You will not find that statement at another institution. It is powerful. It is a recognition that advancing knowledge is at a university's core, and that while we do that noble work, changing the economic trajectory of our students will change the health and well-being of their present families and of generations to come. That's powerful for an institution in higher education. And we end this "we will" statement with the words social justice, reinforcing that we at this university refuse any narrative that creates a hierarchy of human value. We refuse it. And then you end it with this wonderful statement that invites all of us to participate. When I read that, I thought, well, there's something here for everybody to do. They tell you in the last line. If all of that felt overwhelming, you think, how are we going to change the world? They tell you, but in the very last line, they say, everybody can do this. Just be welcoming and inspiring to inquisitive minds from all backgrounds. Okay, I don't know what that does to you, but my heart is beating fast. That does something to me. That is an amazing vision. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, well, if that's their vision, our vision, and aspiration, then I want to wake up every day and come to work to make this true for every member of our community. And so I will end by saying thank you for allowing me to be a part of this work with you. And I look forward to seeing many of you at Move-In. I'm going to be there. I won't be moving anything, let's just be clear. I don't move refrigerators. I just don't do it. I don't do that. I'll see you at Convocation, which will be an amazing event. And on the first day of classes, okay. The teacher in me wants to teach on the first day, but I know that is now not my job. And I just say thank you again, and I hope you're as excited as I am as we prepare to welcome and inspire all of our retrievers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I was going to invite the dance team back, but the dance team and cheerleaders back, but they beat me to it. So I look forward, I'll just say, to joining you at lunch. And again, thank you and welcome to all of you. Thank you.